Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of PondBassmaster. Here's a video that you guys and I have been waiting on for a long time. This is my bass fishing kayak tour. Alright guys, so first I'm just going to do a quick rundown of the kayak, and then I'm going to come back and go from the front to the back and describe everything that we did to the kayak and what the features are of the kayak. Alright guys, so now I'm going to go into detail about all the things on the kayak. So we're going to start at the front and make our way to the back. So first of all, at the front we just have this plastic handle. This helps loading the kayaks in the kayak rack and loading them into the water. This thing gets a lot of use and it's just a nice little attachment to have. Next thing we ran this steel cable loop, and this thing actually has two purposes. The first purpose is when we are kayaking and we leave our kayaks outside, we don't want anybody to steal them, so we will run a cable through this loop and then lock it to a tree or something. And then the second purpose is for the anchor pulley system, which I'll show you guys more about once we get to the back of the kayak. So coming up the kayak, we have the Pelican logo. These bungee straps you can put tackle boxes under. I usually don't, but you could if you needed to. This little slot area here, I usually have fish grips or a scale or pliers. And these floating fish grips, I really recommend. They get a lot of use for me because when I'm taking little kids fishing, or if you catch something you don't really want to touch, you can, grip the fish's lips, hold it up for a picture, and then let it go. And I use these a lot when I take little kids fishing because they don't really like the thought of putting their thumb in a fish's mouth. So these things get a lot of use. And then also, if I'm out here and I hook up on a big fish and I want to get a picture of it, fish grip it, tie the fish grip to the kayak, paddle back to shore, get some pictures, and then you can release it. And they do float, so if you drop it in the water, you can retrieve them. And that's why these are on here opposed to my other Boga grips that I usually use for saltwater, but those are there. Running down the seat and the leg space, and here we have where your legs would be, and I usually keep a bag. I call this a day bag, and this bag usually has everything I need for the day. Usually has sunscreen, bug spray, most of the tackle I'll use. So if I've never been to a place, I'll usually make a certain tackle box with a lot of variety of stuff in it and then put it in here. If I know what I'm doing, then I'll usually just put a certain type of tackle box in here, like jigs, if the fish usually bite jigs there. That usually sits in between my legs, so that way if I need something, I can just pull it up, grab what I need, and then push it back down towards the bottom of my legs. Then there's foot pedals in here that you can adjust depending on your leg, how long your leg is. And this just, again, it's a comfort thing. Up here, the seat is adjustable. The seat's actually really comfortable for me. When I'm fishing, I'll usually tighten this so that the seat is at more of a 90-degree angle, so I'm kind of sitting up straight. So when I'm casting, I'm not like leaning way back. I'm usually sitting up straight, and it just keeps me a little bit more focused when I'm fishing. You're still relaxed, but you don't want to be so relaxed that when you're leaned all the way back, it's kind of hard to cast. So I like to sit up a little bit. Then I have a water bottle. You always want to stay hydrated on the water. The last thing you want to do is be out in the middle of the lake fishing and catching fish and then get really thirsty. You don't want to have to paddle all the way to shore to get a water. So I always keep one of those in there. There's a nice little cup holder for it that sits right there. That's really nice. So going to the other side of the kayak, we have a cleat here and this is to lock down the anchor, and also to when the fish grips, I'll tie the fish grips to this, and then the fish grips will trail along back here. If this would technically be water, and then the fish could be getting water while I'm paddling back to shore. So this also has to do with the anchor pulley system, which I will talk about at the end. So making our way back, we installed 2 rod holders on each kayak. This is my kayak, by the way. The other one is my brother's. It's the same. We set it up the same way. So these rod holders are, let me get on the other side. These rod holders were very easy to install. We put 2 of them in there so that way you can have 2 rods. 2 rods is technically all you really need. I usually have a spinning rod and a bait casting rod, and these are the 2 I probably use the most. This is a Ardent tournament reel and a Ardent Denny Brauer Pro Series rod. It's just a 7'2" medium heavy rod. You can pretty much cover any bait casting applications with that. And then this one is a 6'6" medium spinning rod with an Ardent bolt spinning reel. Again, can pretty much cover any applications with these 2 rods. So as you can see, those sit in there pretty nice. And I have the rods pointing towards the back of the kayak. I know some people have theirs out to the side or kind of out to the front, but I feel like out to the back would be the easiest. So that way, if you're paddling and there's another person coming up to you, or there's a tree off to the side, your rod's not going to smack it. They're going to stay nice tucked away towards the back of the kayak. So those rod holders are really nice. And then these don't, obviously the rods don't stay in there. Those travel separate, and then you put them in there once you get to the water. Now back here we have a compartment section, which actually I didn't really think it was that big at first, but you can actually fit quite a bit of stuff in there. So let me move the pulley system down a little bit, open this up. So back here we have 2 very important things that I use a lot. First of all, we have 3 waterproof bags, and this is usually what I put my camera or my phone or something that I just can't get wet. I'll usually put in these. And then it has a little lanyard thing, and I'll usually put that around my neck so that way if I need my phone quick, I can get out my phone. And then this also helps so that way every time you catch a fish you want to take a picture of it, you don't have to paddle back to shore to get your phone. You can just put it in a waterproof bag. And I like how it has the rope, because if it's around your neck it's not going anywhere. I also will tuck it under the seat sometimes. So there's a couple of those in there, big ones, different sizes of them. So those are in there. And then also what's back here is the anchor. So now I'll get into the anchor pulley system. So there's 25 feet of anchor line on here. When you're kayak fishing, you're usually not going to be in too deep of water, so I didn't want to have a ton of rope on here. So what this anchor pulley system is so it's locked in the cleat right here. So this is how you lock so the anchor doesn't move. Then you can just unwind it here. And now you can, if you grab the top rope and pull it, you can move the anchor to the front of the boat. So you'll see here this silver thing is where the anchor attaches to. I'll show you in a second. So if I'm pulling this, anchor moves to the front of the boat. Then you can lock it down. Kind of hard to do one-handed, but whatever. Then you can lock it down, and that anchor is going to stay at the front of the boat. This helps a lot when you're fishing in current. Even when you're in still water, it helps a lot, because one thing you'll notice in a kayak is if it's a decently windy day, you'll actually float around quite a bit. So this is really nice to have. And then this anchor here, I don't want to unravel it all the way, but basically you have this silver clip, and then if you go to the front of the kayak, before you get in the water, you come up to the silver thing, clip it in like that, and then toss your anchor out, and then you can, again, if I unlocked it over by the cleat, you could pull the front of this, and then the anchor would move to the back of the boat, depending on where you want to set up. So that's pretty much my fishing kayak. Alright guys, so that was my fishing kayak. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If If you do, please leave it a thumbs up. Next week, I believe we are going to take these out and try them out. So I'll probably use my hat cam because I don't think it would be very easy to bring my camera and my phone to record. It would just be too hard to get the hook sets on this. So I'll probably bring my action camera. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to do 2 to 3 videos in the summer. So stay tuned for the next video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.